Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go fast. I have a poor rack. I do have the I for going with the Q, but if I play Chi, I will be leaving myself with 5 consonants. So this may be worth changing. However, if my opponent plays an A, I could have Izard. So I don't have to play the Q if I can score well enough with my other tiles. And through an E I would have Dre, D-R-E-I-G-H. Okay, 5 tiles to consider. I can see immediately I have Chin across here for 32, which is going to be better than changing. Now, do I have anything else? No U's. So no... Oh, well, I've got Cade or Caddy through the A, but that's going to stop 1 square short of a double word square and not score as much as Chin. Just wondering about playing the Z, but I think I will get rid of the Q. 32 points. No vowels, but not surprising, since I was only drawing 2 tiles. But there is the A and the O of Tango available, so I should be able to play through this. Ralph would have been a nice play, except RI isn't good. Anything through the O isn't going to score very much. So I really need my opponent to provide another vowel. I'm a bit reluctant to play just a 4-letter word, stopping 1 square short of this double word square, because it's not going to score very much. So a play like hard, for example, which does take an S, doesn't feel great. Only 13 points for that. I can't see anything great through the O. Well, my opponent does provide another A, but I'm not sure that helps. Except I can play graph through it. It's not going to score very much. But the rack leave is okay, and 11 points is better than the none I would get for changing, and it's not really opening up a huge amount for my opponent. That's looking a bit better. I have Z, Z, Zep and Zel. And all of those play in column 7, making Zo. I've got helped in row H, which would score well and retain the Z for scoring next go. But my opponent could well take that out. I can't see any other Z plays than those I've mentioned. But if my opponent does play across row H, it may be possible to get my Z on one of these triple letter squares. Great, he doesn't. So I have got helped, which I think is better than the Z plays in column 7. And this sorts out the duplicate D, which is good. 39 points is a good score. I could play Z in column 12, making B and Gid for 40, but I think the rack leave is better after help. Pretty horrendous. Gosh, that is really a really dreadful pickup. Again, I have the U-W combination, but this time made worse with the addition of a V and the duplicate I, so overall looking pretty grim. But I do have Whiz on my rack, so I could play Whiz and Woe. Probably better than changing. Now, do I have anything in column 14 placing my Z on one of these triple letter squares? I don't think so. I don't have to play my Z. Now through an E. Ah, yes. Yes, indeed. I have Vised. It is keeping UW, but the score is going to be good. And the problems with the rack weren't just the U and the W. So I think that works out quite well. And that is horrendous. Drawing 2 U's and 2 A's. I think the time has come to change. Probably retain AR. I can't think of any play which would sort this rack out. Through a D I would have Voodoo. But even then it would need to score a lot. Okay, I change. Much better. 3 A's is not good, but the A is a fairly easy tile to deal with, and I've got scoring tiles in the F and the M. My lead is 1 point, so we're neck and neck. Evoke takes an R in front, but I can't really use that to good effect. And I can't think of any 3-letter front extensions to evoke. I'd like to play off the F and the M, but the F is my priority since it's the less bingo-y of the two. So a play of F double A somewhere would work quite well. Nice bingo by my opponent. I'm not able to respond with a bingo, so I'm now a bingo behind. So, where to play my F? I could just play FA here, keeping 2 A's, which is not great, especially when I'm behind. Now, what about playing from row H? Can't see anything. Afara is good, but I can't see anywhere good for that. So let me see what FA looks like. 28 points, which is a good score. It's not a terrible rack leave, although there is a possibility of drawing another A. I am opening a bingo lane in row K, which is good since I'm behind. Now, I have drawn another A, but that's not disastrous because I have Samsara on my rack, which plays in row K, and hopefully my opponent will be distracted by this triple word square. And I think the anagram of Samsara is Asrama's. And there may be a third, but I'm going to go with Samsara. For 71. And that's a pretty good pickup I have on Datra. Can't see anywhere. Ah, well, yes, there is somewhere for it. Row L making East, R, and Mar. That'll be pretty good if that stays available. And again, the triple word square at H1 may be a distraction for my opponent. A 4-letter play across here, placing a high-scoring tile above this O, would score quite well. Now, do I have any alternative bingos? There's the floating T to consider. Can't see anything through that. And then there's the G and the O. Can't see anything there. And the D, can't see anything there. So I just have on Datra. And if that's blocked, I have no scoring tiles. But I could play Dato across here, which would sort the rack out. Only 26 points, though. Column 8 is quite hot down from this A. My opponent could be drawn to that. That would block on Datra, but it would provide 3 new floaters. But I'm struggling to think of 8-letter plays. Yeah. So on Datra's blocked. Do I have anything through the I or the N? Well, the I looks promising. I've got the Asian ending with rad. Radiation, not good. Diatron plus an A. And there's also the N, which doesn't look quite as good. Okay. I'm just looking around in case there's another spot for Ondatra that I haven't considered. I don't think there is. I'm 27 points behind. So although Dato is taking out floaters, which is a bad thing when I'm behind, it's taking out a high scoring spot, and there are available floaters in Actin and in the T, so it's not completely closing the board down. Well, I'm still waiting for inspiration to strike with one of these three floaters. There's also L and R. Well, that's not looking great. And P and A, again, not looking great. Just considering the G again. Can't see anything there. So, what I was thinking about doing was Dato for 26. Not great. No scoring tiles and duplicates. So I'm going to struggle to score with this, but it will be fairly easy to sort the rack out. There could be a bingo here. And the I is a possible floater. Can't see one there. 20 points for my opponent. He's now 20 points ahead of me. So how to sort this rack out? Certainly I want to play A and R. And probably the O as well. That's not a particularly good tile. Now, is there a way of scoring off both of these W's? They both take A and O in front. Well, I could just play Aura. Just the O and the A, but that's keeping duplicate R, and that doesn't feel great. Only 20 points, so it's not as if I'm getting a fabulous score for doing that. I could play Raw. I've got the S, so if I draw a particularly high-scoring tile, I could play across from here. If my opponent's got the S, he's unlikely to score massively. So I don't think this is hugely dangerous. And the rack leaves quite good. The score is not good, only 20 points, but I think I was going to struggle with all these one-pointers to score anything remotely decent. So I think 20 points is actually okay. Through an O, I would have adjourns, but having played Dato, I've blocked the O's and Guris. Wow, nice bingo by my opponent. 92 points for him. I'm now a best part of 100 points behind, and I'm in difficulties. So, what to do? I've got 12 minutes on my clock. I need to get my rack into a more bingo-y shape. So I need to get rid of the J and the U. How can I do that? Only 12 tiles left. Gosh, where have all the tiles gone? It feels like I've only just started this game. Just pausing to make sure that I don't have a bingo. I need to consider 9-letter plays through AG 2 and do. Can't see anything. So where to play my J and U? I could play Jut, but I don't really want to block the floaters. Jut here is going to score almost nothing. Well, I could play Jaunt. £24 points. When I'm 90 points behind, it's not particularly helpful scoring only 10 because I can get myself into a position where a bingo is not enough. So although this is taking out a floater in the T, there are bingo lanes remaining through the TIN and also ending with this D. And by playing off 4 tiles, I'm increasing my chances of drawing a blank or an E, both of which would help my rack a lot. Having said that, is there anywhere better for my J? Judd is good, and that would leave a better rack leave. 10 minutes on my clock. So I could play Jar down here or Raj, but it's not burning the U, and that is an absolute priority, especially with 2 to come. I think Jaunt is okay because I may next go be able to play over the top of it to create a new lane in row B. Not a very bingo-y set of remaining tiles, so I'm a massive underdog at this point, but the rack leave I think is okay. Not great. I only draw one vowel. It is, however, an E. I don't draw the blank. I've got an X for score, but I'm not really looking for X scores. I'm looking for a bingo. 8 tiles in the bag. Well, I could play racks through this A. So I'm now looking to play off only a few tiles because there are so few left. And hang on to my E. And burn my X. So I could play ticks through the eye of Vised or racks. So the blank is the really useful tile that's out there. The rest is fairly drossy. I don't think I have got a bingo here. But as long as the actin floaters are available, I've got a chance. But my opponent, well, he could take them out. So I'm not in good shape at all. I don't have anything for going underneath the J for playing across row E. There is an O out there, so if my opponent's got that, he could score well in row E. I can't see anywhere on this board that I can score well with my X, which is quite unusual. It's usually regarded as quite a good tile. Great, my preferred spot remains available. My opponent doesn't score well. He doesn't take out any of the floaters, which is good. Still 6 tiles left. The problem with racks is that it doesn't take any front hooks, which it would be nice to create a lane in row B. I could play tax. No R's or T's to come, so that's not a relevant factor. Tax also doesn't take anything in front. And I can't see a way of any other alternate plays. So this isn't a great rack leave. 20 points is going to take me to 310, so I am going to be within a bingo of my opponent. So let's see if I can draw the blank. Well, I don't. I draw the Y, which may be useful. Just looking at the floaters on the board, can't see anything with the D or the T. Nope, can't see anything there. Only 4 tiles in the bag now. So I'll be looking to play off the Y. I've got the LY ending and ILY ending. 8 minutes on my clock, 11 on my opponent's clock. I'm 60 points behind. I've also got these 2-letter sets to consider, AG and 2. There may be something there, but I'm not seeing it. So where can I play my Y? Rory's good. Okay. So I could just play off... I could play just the Y. Not a great set of other tiles, but I'm struggling to play off anything with the Y without burning my vowel, which is pretty precious. So I could play Cly and Rory, which is obstructing the N and the I. 14 points for my opponent, 2 tiles left, so Rory fits quite well, except I've only got 1 vowel. The vowel in actin is not available. There's nowhere on this board for a 7-letter play. I'm 76 points behind. Is there anywhere I can play my Y and open up a 7-letter bingo lane? No, I don't think there is. Is that the best I can do with my Y? 8 minutes on my clock. I think so. I do draw a vowel. Now, is that good enough? Do I have a bingo? Ah, do I have... I thought I had selected down in column 1, but I would need another E for that, so I don't. Only 1 tile in the bag, so my opponent will now take that. Can't see anything ending in I. What about the N? Can't see anything, and I can't see any 7-letter plays with this rack, even if my opponent were to open a bingo lane. Now, what about Ag and 2? So I've got the AGE ending. Can't see anything there. Now, what about through TO? So I've got the ecto prefix. Ectodelts, no good. My opponent's taken out OO. Oh, great. My opponent's passed, which is good. That was unexpected. It means I can play off 1 tile and have another shot at bingoing. 7 minutes on my clock. Now the tile to play off is going to be the C or the D. And what I really need to consider is, of these remaining tiles, which is going to maximize my chances of bingoing. But that's very difficult to do. I'm tempted to play off the C. But to start with, is there anywhere for just the C? There certainly is for just the D. I could play Ed. So this decision will be made easy if there is nowhere for me to play the C. I could play Talk, that is obstructing bingo lanes. 6 minutes on my clock. Is there anywhere else for my C? If there isn't, I'm tempted to play the D. I think I can score more with the D. I'm 64 behind now, so a bingo isn't necessarily going to be enough. Ciaz is good, but Co isn't. Ku is good, but Cly isn't. Cag is good, but that's obstructing column 1. Cow is good, but Ak isn't. So there's nowhere great for my C. There's only Tok, and I don't really want to do that, because that's taking out both double pairs. So where's the most I can score for my D? I can play Bid here for 12. Add and Dow, 10. I don't want to waste too much time here, because I need thinking time for my bingo. Okay, I think that's the best I can see. So, great, I think. I draw another vowel. This is looking a very balanced track. I have esculent through this N. Wow. That's not going to score very much because it doesn't get doubled or tripled. But my opponent may not see it to block. Now through this T, I would have lettuces, or I have the letters for lettuces. I don't think lettuces has got an anagram. So what about onto the D? Can't see anything onto the D. So what about through AG? And in particular ending AGE. Can't see anything. And through TO. Can't see anything. So I have esculent. Does esculent have any anagrams? I'm just not sure on this. Sometimes I do have a degree of confidence about whether a word has anagrams, and I'm not sure about esculent. Certainly none has come to mind. 7 minutes on my opponent's clock. I can see his tiles. He may have a bingo of his own. He may be concentrating on looking for a bingo rather than blocking mine. But it's interesting he passed last go. I guess the idea was, by passing, is that were I to have bingoed instead of playing bid, then I would have had one tile in the bag, so he would have had another turn. So it may have been a sensible thing to do to pass. Now, what about unselect? It doesn't play, but I'm just wondering if that's an anagram of esculent. If I can think of a genuine anagram, it may prompt a further one which could play. But I don't think anything is going to end in N, which is what I really need. Now, have I overlooked any bingo lanes? I don't think so, so let me go back to this T. Well, that's just lettuces. Well, my opponent looks like he may have spotted esculent. He certainly blocked it. So, am I sure there's nothing through AG? I've got the telly prefix. Okay, I can't see anything. So now I need to minimize my losing spread. So do I have a 6-letter play ending in E? Can't see one. I'm 66 points behind, so a bingo, certainly any bingo would be enough to win. But there's nothing ending on the D that I can see. And I can't see a 6-letter play ending in E. Cutlets would be good through double T. Well, that's not even a word. Loose sights through an I. Quite a tricky board here. 4 minutes on my clock. Again, I've got nothing to go in front of the J. I could play down here. That's not going to score very much. My opponent's got noble, so he's noble and nobled in column 1, so he certainly can go out. I can't stop that. So I've got just one more play. And at the moment I've seen absolutely nothing. Just nothing. I've got select as a 6-letter play and nowhere for it. So what to do? Well, I could play sect across here. I suspect this is suboptimal, but any play is losing. 22 points. My opponent's 6 minutes on his clock. Now, what if he doesn't spot noble? Well, he does. Pass to end the game. And the final score. 356 to me, 422 for my opponent, a winning margin of 66 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go fast. He played Tango. This was my rack. I played Chin. That looks best. My opponent's rack, he plays Kintar. I have a tricky rack. I play Graph for 11. With no vowels, I wanted to play off. Let me just reply. Yeah, I wanted to play off 4 consonants, retaining 4 or more runs such a high risk of having only consonants or only one vowel that I think playing 4 consonants was a priority, and Graph achieves that. And even the best play only scored 6. The highest scoring play only scored 6 more points, so I'm happy with Graph. My opponent plays Beer. This was my rack. Zep playable down here. Well, this is where I had a choice between a short Z play or a longer play, and I prefer Helped. I don't like the duplicate D, but there's probably not much between those plays. My opponent's rack. And now I had an absolute horror show. And Vized got me out of jail. My opponent plays a Vogue, and now my horror show rack actually gets worse. And at this point I change, and these rack leaves are just unimaginably awful, so changing was the right thing to do. My opponent has a nice bingo with Guris. This was my rack, and I played Far for 28. C7. Oh, well, Mafia playable down here, quite nice. But I suspect, well, Mafia may be better actually. ARS is quite a nice rack leave. But the one advantage of Far is it is opening up a new bingo lane. Nice rack for my opponent. Does he have a bingo? Nope. He plays Yi. And now Asrama's Samsara, and there was a third bingo, which was Samara's. Now, oh, look at that. I missed Asrama's as a double-double. That was a poor show. Yeah, I saw the word Asrama's and then decided it didn't play, and it did. Okay, my opponent's rack. Does he have a bingo? Nope. He played Actin, which was annoying. Ah, there was a bingo. Anti-Dora through the eye. How annoying. And that is a pretty high probability bingo. So I certainly should have seen it. I didn't. Anti-Dora. Okay. I played Dato instead, which was the second choice, but a long way behind. And this is my opponent's rack. And yeah, that's the first of the blanks that he's got. He plays War. Oh gosh, look at this. I missed another bingo through the eye. Orarian's always Arian, so pretty poor show in missing those. I played Raw for 20, so nice rack leave, an okay score, but obviously the bingo much, much better. My opponent does spot his bingo. Great play. And now I'm in trouble, having missed bingos on my 2 previous racks. I'm now 100 points behind, and I haven't got a bingo rack. Adjustor, C3. Okay, through the TO. Nice word, but not a... Well, it's not a bingo. What did I do? I played Jaunt. Yeah, which retains the S, which is a bingo-y tile. So I think that's better than Adjuster. My opponent now does have the second blank. He plays Lie. And what did I do here? Is this where I played Racks? It is, and I like that because I'm retaining the E, and almost every play here is burning the E or retaining the E with the X. My opponent's rack, he doesn't have a bingo. He plays fur. Now I think there's 2 tiles left, so this is when I play just Rory. I think the options here don't really take into account what needs to be taken into account in this position that I'm in, where I can still win with the bingo. So I play Rory. My opponent passes. I don't have a bingo, but because there's 1 tile in the bag, I've still got a shot at bingoing, so I need to play off 1 tile. I play off the D. My opponent's rack, he blocks my bingo. And my rack, and I don't have a bingo. I did have a 6-letter play in row O, Setchel. I didn't see that. I played Sect for 22, which was slightly worse. And then finally my opponent goes out with the best play, Noble. So well done again to my opponent. I lost by 60 points. I missed bingos on 2 separate racks, which probably contributed to my demise. But I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.